something. She needed something to do, something to occupy her time. Meg came rushed into the pile of her coat and fingers that worn cover of a diary. Or she could find someplace quiet and find out exactly what was in it in that journal. That the pool was too bright. Living room it was. The room was icy and dark. The fire had died down, and even when Meg stroked him, only a shudder of orange sparks fluttered up the chimney. There wasn't any firewood in the log rack, so Meg was left with a dullish glow of dying embers that barely penetrated the gloom of the house. Definitely not enough light to read by. Despite the chill, Meg sat in the window seat where at least she'd have some dullish sunlight by which to read. With a slight shimmer caused by the cold or nervous anticipation, Meg was assured. She opened the diary.
Okay, sweet. Yep. They'll know when I'm gone what a mistake made of things. Maybe they'll be sorry. I don't know. But at least they'll know they caused it. It was their fault, and someday they will pay. All of them.
Period.
Right, very.
Alright, you can go now.
Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. What the hell was that? The entry was written in black ink, uneven and smudged in places, where the paper was slightly bored, as if drops of water had been sprinkled over the page. Tears, maybe? Megan thought of all the tears she shed while writing some of her journal entries, and could almost picture the author doing the same. It was hard to tell from the language whether this was a recent entry or something written years, even decades ago. And still no hints as to the author's identity. Once again, Meg felt like she should close the diary, leave it on the window seat, and walk away. She shouldn't be doing this, and yet she felt compelled. Despite the author's warnings to continue, she was totally hooked. Still, it was wrong, and Meg knew it. These were someone's private thoughts, and when you read people's private thoughts, well, things can go horribly wrong. Meg thought of what Minnie or TJ or even Jessica Lawrence would think of her if they read what was in her journal. Just like most of Meg's life, there were some things better left unsaid, which is why she kept the journal. And yet, Meg's journal was, in some ways, the most concrete thing in her life. It was totally real and authentic. The only place where she could always be herself, always say exactly what she wanted to, when she wanted to. She was never tongue-tied, never shy, never unsure of herself. She should have put the journal down instead she turned the page.
Alright.
I'm so excited. Today was the first day at the new school, and I think this is gonna be awesome. I can feel it. Mom's in a good mood. The move went well. I love the new house, and it's closer for Bob to get to work, so we can all have dinner together like a real family. I hope she stays this way. Dr. Levon says the move will be good for me too. New house, new school, new friends. I think he's right. I feel lighter already and hopeful. I'm starting over, reinventing.
Yeah, you said that.
Reinventing myself. No one knows what I was before I came here. Everything is going to be different.
Meg caught her breath. She could have also been reading her own journal. She vividly remembered being the new girl in school when her parents moved the family from New York to the Seattle suburbs. Before the start of 7th grade, the excitement and the apprehension, just like this author, I'm starting over, reinventing myself. How many times has she written almost the exact same thing? It was one of the reasons that she was going to college out of state.
Alright, Bird.
I met a few people, but not too many. There is a really cute guy in my Spanish class.
Ooh.
Really? I can't believe I'm even thinking about boys already. Dr. Levine says I should focus on making friends first, just friends. But I can't help it. He cracked a lot of jokes in class, and when I laughed at one, he smiled at me. Not mocking, but an actual smile. He noticed me in a good way.
Holy crap. where she and the author living parallel lives. Meg remembered the first day she had an actual conversation with TJ, something more than just a passing. What's up? At a party or in the corridor at school. They've been paired up for a project on the Grapes of Wrath and met at a coffee house after football practice to come up with a plan. At the time, they were practically strangers. What Meg knew about TJ, A, he's a player, and B, my best friend's in love with him. What TJ knew about Meg, A, she gets good grades, and B, her best friend may or may not have a crush on me. It was still an awkward meeting. Then TJ made a stupid joke, and Meg followed it up with one of her comebacks. TJ had paused and looked at her, really looked at her, and maybe for the first time, then he smiled, that perfect, dimply smile, and Meg melted. Not that she'd admitted it to herself, day after day, she'd write in her diary about how they were just friends, more to convince herself than anything. She knew she was falling for him, and she felt like a horrible friend for doing so. Me had been in love with TJ for so long, and Meg was the only one whom she told. Even if something happened between Meg and TJ, how could she ever tell Minnie? It would be the ultimate betrayal, and yet Meg had continued to go out of her way to see him. They spent way more time together working on the project than was necessary, but Meg couldn't help herself. TJ was more than just a job. He was smart, quick-witted, playful. There was a substance to him, something deeper and more real than the other guys he hung with. Meg saw that there was more to him than just the star wide receiver, and she desperately wanted him to realize how perfect they were for each other until he did.
Choir was the best part of the day. We all had to audition, and the director seemed really impressed with me. I don't think any of the other sopranos sang as well as I did, except maybe one girl. She's really sweet though. She helped me find the folder and had me sit next to her. It felt so good to find a friend, you know? But I'm going to feel bad when I beat her out for the solo at the next concert.
Keep going.
Next paragraph
there's
too.
more? Wait, where? Oh, I ain't see that, my bad. Can you believe I just wrote that? See, I'm different already. Tom said I would be. I feel like I can do anything.
Meg grinned. She couldn't help but feel a connection to this girl, whoever she was. There was such hope, such joy in her voice. Meg could almost picture her sitting in a bed, a huge smile on her face, writing these words. There was also a pang of guilt. She really shouldn't be reading this. Clearly, this was not a journal written 20 or 100 years ago. It must be relatively recent. Meg just hypocritical if anyone found her journal, which didn't even have the aggressive warning at the beginning. She'd be mortified if they read even a page, but here she was, barreling on. She needed to know what happened with the boy in Spanish class. It reminded her so much of how she and TJ met. She needed to know if this had a happy ending. Meg turned to the next entry.
I can't believe it's been a week since I wrote last. Well, yes, I can believe. I can because it's been completely crazy. I joined, wait for it, the debate team. I know, I told you it was crazy. But Dr. Levine said it might be good for me to do group activities, kind of forced me to meet more people. I was willing to try, you know. I signed up for choir, and then on Friday, the girl who sits next to me in history was telling everyone about how the debate team is traveling all over the area and how she knows people at like every school in the state. And I thought, that's exactly what Dr. Levine was talking about. So I did it, I joined. The first meet is after school tomorrow. The people here are pretty nice though. Though there is this one blonde guy in PE that kind of makes me nervous. He was joking with his friends on the track yesterday, and I think he was pointing at me. But I'm just going to ignore it like Tom told me. I'm sure it's nothing. Also, we got the audition song for the spring concert solo yesterday. It's so beautiful. I can almost feel the music in my bones when I sing it. My friend loves it too, and she's also going to audition for the solo. We were talking at lunch today. See, I already have lunch buddies. And she was saying that our choir director really likes it when his solo is kind of do their own thing. rough on the music a little. He thinks it shows their musicality. So I'm going to practice and see where the music takes me and hopefully impress him. The auditions are in 2 weeks. I know I can get this solo. And then when the boy hears me sing it, he'll totally fall in love.
Makes heart sank. She was doing it for a boy. That's just couldn't end well.
The boy notices me sometimes, but not as much as I like. I watch him in class a lot, hoping he'll see me and smile.
Stalker.
Hey, I have a question. Who, is Meg is the one reading? Yeah.
So Meg is the one reading the diary. Yes.
How did she come across the diary?
She found it in her room.
She found it
Her
on
room
top
got
of,
destroyed.
And
Somehow.
she accidentally mistaked it for her own.
She found a picture of the, accidentally?
I think so.
Are there any accidents in this book?
Not
No,
really.
not really.
We'll see.
Cassie knows. Cassie's like that.
Okay, so the girl in the diary really likes this boy, and she wants to audition for the solo so that he'll notice her. But she has a friend who's also gonna audition. Keep going.
Madison, is he so gorgeous?
He's so gorgeous.
He's so gorgeous when he smiles. I couldn't even begin to describe it. But I know if he just actually see me. So I want to get this choir solo. I have to.
Makes friends. The girl was putting her hopes on getting that choir solo, and it makes experience. Whenever you wanted something that desperately, say for the guy you're in love with that asks you to homecoming dance, that's when things go horribly wrong. It felt like she was watching the train wreck in slow motion. She wanted to turn away, but she couldn't. The next entry wasn't surprising.
How did he give the solo to her? The list of soloists was posted on the choir room door after school today. He gave it to my friend. She sang exactly what was on the page, word for word. It was stiff and boring, and she wasn't showing that she understood the music at all. I actually interpreted the music. Like the composer and I were working together to create something new and amazing. And now everything's ruined. The boy will never notice me. What am I going to do? Tom thinks I should go talk to the director at rehearsal tomorrow and ask him what I did wrong so maybe I can improve for the next audition. But I feel like it's over. I should just end it all now.
Is that thing normally say stuff like that?
Wait, what?
Like, how
You're
could,
so
No.
how could he give the solo to her? Is that how you would say it?
How would you say it? Imagine if
No,
you made
no.
Girl,
this
your
Do
attitude,
it.
with your attitude,
Yes. How could he give the solo to her?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Why would he do
that?
Why do y'all have like the worst attitude at times? And then when you're allowed to have attitude and get into it, you don't want to.
It's true.
It's like, use your attitude.
No.
Why would he give the solo to her? I hate her.
Boy, you need to go to second period.
I feel like Lori,
They and all be like, I'm
I feel like Lori with the girls who found out Layla's friend.